All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Little Lord Fauntleroy, 1936. I'm giving this 5 out of 5 stars. I love this flick. Cool looking movie poster. Nice happy ending. Excellent. David O. Selznick production. It's a good family film. It's about a charming young boy who steals the heart of a grumpy old earl. Little Fauntleroy is a 1936 U.S. drama film based on the 1886 novel of the same name, Horse and Buggy Era, by Francis Hodgson Burnett. The film stars Freddie, Bartholomew, Dolores Castillo, and C. Aubrey Smith, who is an amazing actor, way above his league. The first film produced by David O. Selznick International Pictures. It was the studio's most profitable film until Gone with the Wind. The film is directed by John Cromwell. The film was critically well received and is now in the public domain. I posted the link to the Cult Cinema Classics link in the description. No trailer for this. In 2012, it was released on Blu-ray disc by Kino Lorber following a restoration by the George Eastman House Motion Picture Department. Production company Selznick International Pictures, distributed by United Artists. Release date March 6, 1936 in the United States. Running time a decent clock of 98 minutes. Country United States, language English, and a budget of $590,000, which was a lot of money back in 1936. Young Ceddy Errol, played by Freddie Bartholomew. A great performance by Freddie Bartholomew. Who is this kid? Is he doped up on drugs like Mickey Rooney? And his widowed mother, whom he calls dearest, Dolores Castello. Another remarkable performance from Dolores Castello, whoever that is. They lived frugally in 1880s Brooklyn. We like frugal. After the death of his father, Cedric's prejudiced English grandfather, the Earl of Dorincourt, played by the great C. Aubrey Smith, super actor, had long ago disowned his son for marrying a U.S. woman. Earl sends his lawyer, Havisham, Henry Stephenson, to bring Ceddy to England. As the Earl's sons are all dead, Ceddy is the only remaining heir to the title. Mrs. Errol accompanies her son to England, but Mrs. Errol is not allowed to live in the Dorincourt castle, at least not for the moment. For Cedric's happiness, she does not tell him it is because of his grandfather's bigotry against U.S. women. The Earl's lawyer is favorably impressed by the young widow's wisdom. However, the Earl expresses skepticism when Mr. Havisham informs him that Cedric's mother will not accept an allowance from him. How dare she? I'm going to send her money anyway because I'm the Earl. Nobody messes with me or shows me up. Cedric soon wins the hearts of his stern grandfather and everyone else. The Earl hosts a grand party to proudly announce his grandson to British society, notably his sister, Lady Constantia Lauradale, played by Constance Collier, who's super hot. According to Little Lord Fauntleroy, she's the hottest woman on the planet. After the party, Havisham informs the Earl that Cedric is not the heir apparent after all. American Minna Tipton, played by Helen Flint, insists her son, Tom, Jackie Searle, is the offspring of her late husband, the Earl's eldest son. Heartbroken, the Earl accepts her apparently valid claim, though Tom proves to be a rather obnoxious lad, sucking on his lollipop and getting it all over his face. Sadie's friend, Dick Tipton, played by the drugged up Mickey Rooney, recognizes Minna from her newspaper picture. He takes his brother Ben, Tom's real father, to England, and he disproves Minna's claim. The cast of Little Lord Fauntleroy is listed at the American Film Institute catalog of feature films. Little Lord Fauntleroy was the first film produced by Selznick International Pictures, created by David O. Selznick when he left MGM Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. While he was still at MGM, Selznick purchased the rights to the story from Mary Pickford for $11,500, and Selznick secured the performance of his David Copperfield discovery, Freddie Bartholomew. Have I reviewed David Copperfield and I forgot to put Freddie Bartholomew's name in the description? I'm getting old, man. It was the final film for which Sophie Wachner designed costumes. Good costume design in this one, by the way. I felt like I was in Time Machine. All right. Ben Hecht, Richard Shire, and Selznick himself polished the screenplay commissioned from Hugh Walpole, directed by John Cromwell. The film was shot the last 2 months of 1935, made within a budget of $500,000. The film's final cost was $590,000. The film was released through United Artists after a world premiere March 4th, 1936, at Foundation Hospital in Warm Springs, Georgia. By 1939, Little Lord Fauntleroy earned an estimated profit of $447,000. It was Selznick International Pictures' most profitable film until Gone with the Wind. Nice little cha-ching, money green. When the movie was shown at the Radio City Music Hall, Frank S. Nugent reviewed the film for the New York Times on April 3rd, 1936, and he gave it a favorable review. Long in the public domain, Little Lord Fauntleroy was released on DVD, a Blu-ray disc by Kino Lorber in 2012. The film was remastered by the George Eastman House Motion Picture Department from Selznick's personal print. DVD Talk wrote, "This Kino Classics release, while far from perfect, sources an original 35mm nitrate print, resulting in a better than acceptable presentation, and unless original film elements turn up, This is probably the best little Lord Fauntleroy is going to look for the foreseeable future. Highly recommended. And it is highly recommended. Check it out. All right. Nobody in the chat room tonight. They're not expecting me to do a review on Sunday night, but my son is in Hawaii. So I'll do one Sunday night, Monday, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday. Well, maybe not. Because I do have St. Teresa of Avila, 1904, episode 4 on top of my list. So I won't be doing a review tomorrow night, but I will Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I guess. And then I should be almost done with St. Teresa of Avila. Be 3/4 of the way done. Little Lord Fauntleroy, 1936, 1 hour, 42 minutes. Gets a whopping 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. 2,700 ratings. How could you not fall in love with the characters in this film? All of them are lovable except for the kids who are beating up poor Seti, or the fraudulent mother who pops out of nowhere. Great British U.S. Partnership once again. That's the title of the IMDb review from Nut Sen Fam, who gives it a 7 out of 10. I'm giving it a higher rating. So we'll see a little less flattering review. And we'll see how that goes. Russell Birdwell worked on publicity for the film, and Birdwell devised a canvas sign stretching 2 miles of Washington Boulevard in Los Angeles from the studio past MGM towards the ocean. There had never been such a large sign advertising anything before, and the feat was reported in newspapers worldwide. When Seti writes the note telling the estate manager not to evict Mr. Higgins, Lord Dorincourt folds the letter. Lord Dorincourt puts his eye monocle on just as he hands the note to Mr. Mordaunt. The shot changes to wide view, and Lord Dorincourt no longer wears the eye monocle. The Earl of Dorincourt is quoted as saying, "Gaze down at Cedric asleep. If anyone had ever told me I could be fond of a child, I wouldn't have believed them. I always detested children, my own more than most, but I'm fond of him, and oddly enough, he's fond of me. You know, Havisham, I'm not popular. I never was. But he's fond of me, never was afraid of me, always trusted me. Yes, Havisham, he'd have filled my place better than I filled it. He'd have an honor to the name." Featured in Max Steiner, Maestro of Movie Music, 2019. Soundtracks, Jingle Bells, 1857, uncredited. Music by James Pierpont, uncredited. In the score a bit at the beginning. More like this. Captains Courageous, Little Lord Fauntleroy, 1980. All Mine to Give, and David Copperfield, which I believe I have seen, but I forgot to put Freddie Bartholomew's name in the description. I can fix that real quick, I guess. Can I? Oh, yeah. Here we go. Freddie. There we go. Freddie Bartholomew is in the description. Sorry about that. So I'll look up Captain's Courageous Little Lord Fauntleroy, 1980, and All Mine to Give. After this review, I'll look them up. After the death of Seddy's English father, he and his mother lived together in Brooklyn. Cedric's grandfather, the Earl of Dorincourt, has disowned Cedric's father when he married a U.S. woman, but when the Earl's remaining son dies, he accepts Cedric as Lord Fauntleroy, his heir, a 9-year-old boy who has more maturity than most adults, and he sends for Cedric and his mother. Cedric uses the first day of his newly found wealth to do some favors for his old friends. Very unselfish and charitable. Then he heads to England, where he must try to overcome the Earl's dislike for Cedric's mother. That's the storyline from Snow Leopard on IMDb. Whether your heart is young or old, this great picture tells a story that will touch you deeply. Original print had all caps. Indeed. Genres, drama, and family. A very good family movie. There's no nudity or blasphemy. It's just perfect. Everything about this movie is perfect. Russell Birdwell worked on publicity for the film. Russell Birdwell devised a canvas sign stretching 2 miles of Washington Boulevard in Los Angeles from the studio past the MGM towards the ocean. There had never been such a large sign advertising anything before, and the feat was reported in newspapers worldwide. When SETI, I already been through all this. All right. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. Release date March 6, 1936. In the United States, country of origin United States. Language English, also known as Mally Lord Fauntleroy. Filming locations George Lewis Mansion, 1051 Benedict Canyon Drive, Beverly Hills, California, USA. Lord Dorincourt's Castle Gatehouse. Production company Selznick International Pictures. Runtime 1 hour 42 minutes. It's decent. It's a little long, but it's decent. Color black and white, glorious black and white, and aspect ratio 1.37 to 1. So let's go back up. Here's the review from Knutson Fam. Great British American Partnership once again is the title of the review on IMDb. I don't know why they say American all the time. What is American? There's North American and South American, but there's no American. All right. Great British-American partnership once again. Two great 1930s child actors, Freddie Bartholomew and Mickey Rooney, play Little Lord Fauntleroy, Cedric Errol, and streetwise American friend, there's that word again, U.S. friend Dick Tipton, respectively, part British SETI. Fights the bullies, and Dick Tipton runs to help. They fight together. What a true friend. A preview of what a lot of Brits and U.S. did in World War II a few years after this film. Oh, I see. So they like to play together in fistfights and also bomb the hell out of Germany with fire bombs. Also watch for Sir Siebert, Aubrey Smith, as the definitive hostile old Lord Dorincourt. I don't think anybody could have played it better. Who's charmed and warmed by his newly met half U.S. grandson's unconditional love. Isn't that nice? Agape is supposed to be for God, not the Earl. Character actor Guy Kibbee also seems made to play staunch anti-aristocrat U.S. Silas Hobbs. If you read the book free online, the movie fits it well. Did you know the little book, Little Lord Fauntleroy? Did you know the book Little Lord Fauntleroy was an incredible late 19th century hit? Some statesmen actually credit this tale of reconciliation between an old earl and his half U.S. grandson with improving the then strained 19th century British-U.S. relationship. Drew Barrymore's grandmother, Dolores Costello Barrymore, plays Cedric's charming U.S. mother. She is charming. She's a perfect. While this film needs a sound and picture cleanup, it is still worth the watch. To you film people, lots of people like this whole film. Can't someone clean up the picture and sound? They already did on Blu-ray. This was posted on November 22nd, 2005, before it was released on Blu-ray. So that explains the disconnect with the cleanup, which was done ex post facto. All right, movies list. Here we go. St. Teresa of Avila television show from Spain, 1984, episode 4 is at the top of my list. As expected, the television series just keeps getting more and more intense. She's whipping her back to the point of having scars on her back, and she's levitating, and she's witnessing the fires of hell. St. Teresa of Avila. And then we've got the Skin Game, 1931. St. Teresa of Avila, 1984, episode 5. Snake Eater, 1988. Then St. Teresa of Avila, episode 6. You know what that means. I'm 3/4 done with St. Teresa of Avila. Then we've got Jacob, the Man Who Fought with God, 1963. And that's what's coming down the pike. Tom Baker says, never seen this movie. Well, I highly recommend it. Check it out. It's for free under Cult Cinema Classics. I posted the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed my review. Tom Baker? Should I call you Doctor Who? Do you have any jelly babies for me? Is that canine? Is Harry Sullivan an idiot? Sorry, I couldn't resist. Thanks for joining the chat room, Tom Baker of Doctor Who fame. Laters.